Welcome to My Money Mindset podcast, where we explore how a healthy mindset is the foundation for financial success. Each week, we delve into mindset hacks and practical strategies to help you enhance your income, help you make more appropriate investments for yourself, and to improve your overall financial well-being. Join us on this journey to transform your financial future by transforming your mindset. Please note that the information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute as personal, financial or health advice. It has been prepared without considering your individual objectives, financial situation or life needs. Before making any financial or health decisions, you should consult with a qualified professional or financial advisor to ensure the information aligns with your specific circumstances. So let's begin and enjoy this journey as each episode teaches us on how to improve our overall mindset that it overall improves our financial success. In this episode, I'm really going to describe why we should be living in the moment of now, as opposed to always thinking indefinitely for the future. And what I mean by that is simply by not having too many constraints over when in a year's time I'll have an additional funds, or in X amount of time I'll be a lot happier if this and this happens. And most of the time, if we've got the luxury of having these dreams or apparitions of becoming more successful than what you already are, I quite often always delve back to the now or to today to be grateful for what you have. And it's very cliche, is, everyone always says, be grateful for what you got. Now, us as humans are always trying to delve into better situations, acquire more safety. When I say safety, more security over, it could be money, could be where you're living, could be whatever it could be, new cars, clothes, whatever. Now, the reason why we do this is simply, and it derives all the way back to, it sounds crazy, but fear. Now, when I say fear, it's not so much the fear of if you are scared of something like walking across the road or anything like that, although, there's an anxiety or something. It's more the fear of trying to make sure that your existence is all in check and secure. You're not going to run out of money, you're not going to run out of food, water, clean air and all that. And it sounds very basic and very, gee whiz, that's very primitive. But at the end of the day, it all stems back to making sure acquiring more is making sure that you have plenty of, pretty much like the squirrels storing their nuts for winter type of thing. Now, yes, it's very simple, yet our minds are pre-programmed to always do better. So for instance, when you were young, and especially in this day and age, when you're young, you're always taught to learn new things, endeavor upon new things to learn, whether they be practical, educational, could be learning how to speak different languages. You learn certain etiquettes, as in manners, how we speak to people, conversations. We're taught to become pretty much respectable humans in society and to integrate into society, as an example. And most of the time, this is great because the reason why we're integrating socially is to somewhat become a part of our social circle. And what happens then is we tend to get ideas from these social circles. So the more people that you talk to or come across in life, is you get more ideas thrown at you, representations. You see people that have more money or more things. How did they get that? What did they do to acquire that? And all these questions, ideas, strategies come into your head that you really want to start mimicking these people or getting what they want. Now, it's a very broad sort of subject, this, but going back to living in the now and why we acquire, or always endeavoring to acquire more, is to understand that we are sort of somewhat trying to secure our future. So the more that we have, the less we have to worry. Now, What often happens, and I do this a lot with some of my clients, is we may start talking from day one and we build the sort of a timeline, a goal, a strategy, how we're going to get to that goal, what's that goal look like, and we break it back down into achieving that goal. So what are the strategies, how are we going to do it? Yeah, there's so many different levels of little points that we then to reach to this goal, we have to accomplish as a coach and a client to get to these goals. So as an example, I want to own my first investment within 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, whatever it may be. And we break that goal down. And for instance, the reasons of why we got to reach that goal is always in the mind or the hearts of my clients. And that would be to obviously jump onto the property ladder or onto the investment ladder, or their true achievement is to live in their own property or what have you, or buy an investment property on top of their own property. So there's so many different goals. Where did these derived goal from? And how did we get to the figure that we're comfortable with? So if it is a property that you're looking to buy and it's for 800,000, why is it $800,000 property? It's because it's close to a suburb, so on and so on. So these attributes are all broken down. Now, it's pretty simple stuff, right? But they're points that we tend to forget on the journey to these goals, and we've got to stick to these points. And most of my clients do stick to the points, but sometimes we can improve on these points. Why do we get improvement? So let's say we're 6 months towards a 12-month goal, and for instance, that goal tends to change. So that 800, using my example before, that $800,000 property that we had set out to go 6 months ago has now turned into a 1.2. It could be because my client or yourself have seen that the property prices are increasing and you prefer the suburb you're in, or you've met a person that actually bought into another suburb that's a better investment potential and their properties are a little bit higher than what you said. So there we got to break it down and then obviously try and achieve that. But what I tend to do is go back to the original reasons of why we chose the original property at 800,000 and why we stemmed up to 1.2. Now, in some instances, and this is primarily what this episode is about, is the reason this person has sort of changed their mind is because pretty much they want to try and acquire, or they have a hero or a mentor of theirs that actually told them, or they look up to, told them to buy into this suburb or increase their borrowing capacity or what have you. And it sort of sets the bar high. Or their friend said, hey, did you look at this person? They got this. What do you think? That's what you should be doing, and so on and so forth. So before we go venturing on to the bigger tasks at hand or the lesser tasks at hand, we want to make sure we go back to the original discussions of pinpointing the accuracy and the reasons, or the accuracy of the reasons that you actually chose the 800 property and now you've increased or decreased it. And most of the time, the reasons why are simply because we haven't actually changed it in accordance to our capacity. So my clients have actually just gone and said, well, I'm 6 months into achieving this $800,000 property, but now I believe I can do better because I'm feeling better about myself. And this is a good thing. But it can be also a thing that can overstep the mark and throw you off your course of your real capacity. And what I mean by real capacity is originally looking at buying the $800,000 home was your true capacity. We've worked that out, and we worked that out in the original several meetings that we were doing all your feasibilities, your income, your servicing, and all that sort of stuff. And then we worked out that 800 was pretty reasonable and it wasn't stepping over the mark. But now all of a sudden, because you're feeling better emotionally or enhanced because you may have got a pay rise, we definitely want to make sure that we look and reassess those goals in accordance to your strategy being successful. Now, two things have occurred here. Number one, we've set up a bar height for you and we've said, okay, this is the amount you can afford. This is what you're comfortable with. It's in line with your goals in achieving in life to move on to the next strategy and goal in life and so on and so forth, or your next chapter in life. And we've also determined that it's reasonable for you to do so without causing too much anxiety. And 9 times out of 10, those that know me that will always say that prevention of anxiety is my key determination here. Thus, why your mindset's got to be in accordance and accurate to what you want to achieve with your goal. So we've set up your goal. We've made sure that it's in accordance to what your capacity is, your personality, it fits into your family life. You know, so many things that are here that we've got to look out for. Yet because you're feeling more confident, we've got to make sure that that confidence is in a good level of confidence. It's not overstepping. So if you turned up and said, well, Mark, it's gone from 800,000, I want to look at 1.2, we go back to the original reasons, make sure they're not affecting or going to cause you any more anxiety, rinse and repeat the process, correct it. Looks good? Yes, fantastic. Let's go for a $1.2 million property. Or no, look, 800 was more comfortable. We'll probably stretch it to 900. Or what we could be doing is buying 2 properties at 500 each, and so on and so forth. So many swings and roundabouts or variations that we could line up for that if your confidence gets better. So what we've found is that when we are doing these strategies of getting towards a goal or achieving your goals as an investor, we often find that with the mentorship program and the experience that's gained and the knowledge, that your confidence as an investor will always tend to grow, which is fantastic. That's a positive thing when it's requiring to be a successful investor. So we've got to make sure that that's also intact. If we get to the end and we're able to achieve a goal, but we still don't have that confidence that as an investor, that's something else that we need to address. And confidence, I don't rely heavily on confidence. Confidence comes with education, experience, wisdom, bantering with the right people, bantering with social circles that actually know what they're doing, or professionals. So that all comes with experience. So I'm not really high, like it's great to have confidence and a really strong confident level in your personality, but it's also not the be all end all. I think in most instances of gut instinct, knowledge of the market, research of where you're wanting to buy, what you're wanting to buy or invest in, how you're making your money, how you can improve your income, what are the factors that you believe could improve your income, and all those attributes before confidence gets in. Now, confidence will always help when making those decisions. So going back to if you wanted to increase your income or increase your income per annum, whatever it may be, for obviously to achieve better things. And we go back to that. I think I did an episode not too long ago where increasing your income is a great thing, but there are certain red flags and green flags that we've got to look out for and aim for. Aim for the green, avoid the red flags that really enhance your income, but it also isn't detrimental to your life. So as opposed to working 8, 9, 10 hours and then all of a sudden you're working 15 crazy hours that are just, a consequent in the indirect correlation to your health. I mean, you don't want to affect your health is what I always say, but you making sure that you're increasing your income and there are no other detrimental effects. And that detrimental effect could also go to self-awareness. So the more tired we are, the less self-aware. And as we all know, self-awareness is probably the most pinnacle point of knowing if you've overstretched yourself. So just a very important thing, never overstretch yourself, but know the balance between earning enough income, being able to step up your income, enhancing your educational skill set to make sure your income is increased in accordance to skill level or knowledge level as opposed to just hourly level. And a lot of the time I do have clients that really have no other way in order to increase their income apart from putting more hours in, and that's fine, guys. It just means that put that level of hours into your work without jeopardizing or overdoing too many hours, which is detrimental to your life and affects your investment level. make sure that you have broken your goals down into manageable day by day success, right? So every day is going to lead to your success. Investments are for the long term. So if your long term goal is for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, we're going to break those down. We're going to actually parcel them into little manageable days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Sunday. Not every day is a work day. And then make sure that we've got a balance of healthy life, healthy income, and we're not overstretching the goal of achieving that investment. So very easy. How does it correlate? Obviously, it correlates to this episode simply because making sure that we're sticking to our goals or enhancing our goals, but sticking to our little manageable day goals. So if out of 365 days in a year, if we say that as an example, we've got a 12-month goal of buying this $800,000 property, we break it down into 365 days and make sure that in every one of these days, obviously there's a little bit of variance or alleviance that we allow. So, you could be saying I'm working 8 hours, but you could work 10 hours in some days and 6 hours in others. But making sure that we tick off these certain bite-sized manageable day goals in order that's going to achieve and probably overachieve and overcompensate for that $800,000 property, but make sure that we get it successfully. And we do this simply by being in touch, or you stay in touch with your self-awareness. You stay in touch with your energy levels. You stay in touch with the right people, your social circle, your friends and family. Sometimes not so good to share all this with your friends and family. Keep it to yourself. Sometimes people telling the wrong people. It could be a great friend, but they're probably not an investor or great with their money, and they could lead you down a different path. I like to think as an investor, you've got enough confidence, enough level of education or wisdom in regards to your goal that you've broken down into manageable daily exercises that you're able to continue and get this successfully. I'm not saying don't share your goals or share your dreams or apparitions. Absolutely, share it with the world, but make sure that who you're sharing it with and have a level of confidence to push back any negativity or push back upon certain attributes that throws you off your original goal that you've always wanted to do. Because we all know that on our journey towards an investment, because they are long-term goals, it's so easy to get distracted. And primarily this episode is to say, hey, keep your focus. Don't get obstructed by other people telling you what you should or what you shouldn't be doing unless they can get involved in your goal. There could be a partnership there. Share or rejoice in this lateness of creating a goal and breaking it down into a timeline, breaking that timeline down into manageable bite-sized goals and then achieving them. And that's the best part of life, is being able to share it with your social friends and families and colleagues and so on and so forth. That then induces their positive feelings about investing and growing their investment portfolio. So we're here to do this, to share, not only just to grow you as an investor, but also to grow your immediate friends and families and colleagues around you, because the happier they are, the happier you'll be, and so on and so forth. It is very contagious. Success is very contagious. It's not something to be jealous over. It's not something to be, oh, well, they had it easy and so everything like that. Success is something to be very proud about, very self-achievement, and to share that is probably what I always say is the gift of life, is to share. And that being said, sharing is what you are doing right now. So what I mean by that, going back to the original part of this episode about living in the now, as you become more successful, as you achieve your little miniature goals towards your big goal, you're actually going to be you're going to be happier, because your achievements are going to make you a little bit more elated in your way of thoughts, or your connotation towards life will be a little bit of confidence growth, a little bit of happiness towards what you have achieved on your own, and all the other things that sort of make you feel as though you are becoming that person you've always wanted to be. So living in the now is all about what, not only just appreciating what you have, which, like I said in the beginning, is cliche, but it's also about being able to break down your long-term goals to manageable goals and sharing that, feeling happy about the self-reflection techniques that we use, being happy about what we have achieved and living today. And I guarantee with those feelings of contentment or happiness or achievement or confidence that are starting to always prevail in your life, you will tend to already start to appreciate the now. It'll happen naturally. It's not something that you've got to keep reminding yourself. And trust me, when it comes to sharing and sharing in life, that's another thing that if what you do with your, as in breaking down your manageable little goals, that you are completing them every day, you will actually feel though you want to tell the world. And that is living now. So if you've accomplished, some of you, my clients listening right now, that, think about the goals that we've achieved today, self-reflect and go, I'm going to share that, or I'm going to wait to the end of the week, I'm going to share that, or the end of the month, I'm going to share that. And how's it making me feel? It made me feel a bit nervous, but I got there in the end. I want to share that and guarantee you'll be living in the now and you'll be loving it. I really hope that this episode sort of put a little bit of perspective upon living now, as opposed to just saying, well, hey, just appreciate what you've got. I mean, obviously there is another episode that I've done where it is about appreciation of what you have, but this episode was more about today or now and the focus of how your future dreams can actually make you happier today whilst you accomplish them. So I really hope that this episode helped, and feel free to message me or share something that I may have missed or what you loved, and speak soon.